आत्मैवेदं जगत्सर्वं ज्ञातं येन महात्मना यदृच्छया वर्तमानं तं निषेद्धुं क्षमेत कः. So in the previous verse we have seen that the self is not affected by punya and papa. This is why is the self? Can you, it's echoing, Ji. Why is the self? Maybe inside. Why is the self not affected by punya papa? That's because punya papa are in the form of thinking. There can be a sinful thought, meritorious thought. There can be a sinful action, meritorious action, sinful words, meritorious words and deeds. So anything that is sinful is thinking. Meritorious is thinking. So punya papa are also in the realm of thinking. The results of that sinful thinking, the results of meritorious thinking, still it is making. There is Avaji. The results of sin, you can read. ठीक है जी. It's all right. There is noise. ठीक है जी. ना हाँ ना हाँ नाइस आ रहे हैं. इसका नहीं. That's okay.
That's a different kind of noise coming.
This is different. That is different. This is here. There is some problem here. He will come. He is not going to come. So, the results of sinful thoughts and the results of meritorious thoughts are also in the realm of thinking. Both are in the realm of thinking. And thought cannot qualify awareness. That is the Siddhantam. How you have to think. Anything that can mean thought cannot be an attribute of awareness. Anything that can mean thought. Punya means thought. Papa means thought. And what means thought cannot qualify awareness. Therefore, the error cannot qualify the fact. This is what is to be understood. The fundamental education about the truth is creation can't affect, means qualify. It cannot become an attribute of it. The creation cannot affect the source. The error cannot affect the fact. The seen cannot affect the seer, coming closer to oneself. What I see cannot affect the seer. Even the thought that I am affected cannot affect the seer, because the thought that I am affected is also seen. Seen. Even the seer's thought that I am affected doesn't affect its nature, the seer. Even the conscious being's thought, even the conscious being's thought doesn't affect consciousness. Even God's thought doesn't affect God. Truth's thinking doesn't affect the truth. Water's thinking that I am wave. Wave is not thinking. Water thinks that I am a wave. Its own thinking that I am a wave doesn't affect the water. This is the principle G. That is the level of reflection. And our existence is that being. Thought doesn't affect the being means why the thought doesn't affect the being? Because thought happens to be the reality, the being happens to be the reality, and thought happens to be an appearance, a creation, an error, whatever you call it. And therefore appearances don't contaminate the reality. The wave doesn't contaminate water. Thinking like this, Ashtavakraji says, Atmaiva idam jagat sarvam. Jagat sarvam, the entire universe, is Atmaiva, is indeed the self alone, there is nothing else. The wave is only water, nothing else. The scene is the seer, nothing else. You can't say the seer is here and the scene is there. This is all illusion. The seer transcends space, because even the space is seen. It may not have color, etc., but yet it is objectified. It may not have the form, sound, taste, touch, smell. It doesn't matter, G. Objectifiability is not dictated by, is not governed by, is not facilitated by merely a form or merely a sound, merely a taste. Any of them means objectification. Even thoughts are objectified. Space is objectified. Therefore, I can't say I am here and the universe is there. The here and there have no meaning. These are all temporal, spatial terms. This is the Jiva's language. Jiva has a language. And the language is that I am here, you are there. I am here, the objects are there. Neither the self is, here is a spatial point. Every spatial point is subject to become, every spatial here is subject to become there. Every spatial point called there is subject to become here, subject to be called close. But one's existence is not a here that is subject to become that, there. Therefore it is absolute here. Absolute here means it transcends the idea of here and there. It transcends space. Therefore, the seen is not outside the seer. The seen is not in space, because the space also is seen. Then the seen is not in time, because the time also is seen. The seen, drishyam, explains away the entire creation. So how can we really think of the universe being present in something else? Either it has no source or the subject is the source. Minus the subject, it has no source. If we posit matter as the source of the world, I say matter also is objectified. It is also a part of creation. All that is objectifiable is a part of creation. Creation is a part of the scene. Subtle matter also is seen, maybe by through the aided eyes. That is objectifiable. Matter it is. Gross matter is matter. Subtle matter is matter. Therefore, you can't trace the gross matter called the visible matter to some invisible matter, because matter has to be visible. What are you talking? How can the matter be invisible? The invisible is only the unmanifest matter. The unmanifest also is one with the manifest. They are like two sides of the same coin. You can't see the unmanifest is the source of the manifest. The manifest and the unmanifest are forms. It's a part. Once we say the names and forms, once we say creation, it means both the manifest form and the unmanifest form. The source E cannot be another form. The source of the manifest form, the source of the unmanifest form cannot be another form, manifest or unmanifest. The source of the form cannot be another form, because once I say form, I include that form which you posit, which you say the source, which you refer to another form as a source. I say that also is a form. The explanation that you are giving for a form, I am saying that is also a form. It needs explanation. Form needs explanation. If you give a form, if you cite a form as an explanation for the form, then that form also needs explanation. Because I am there as a questioner. I am there as a questioner, therefore I can continue to question. What is the explanation for this form, that form? What is the explanation for that form, third form? What is the explanation for the third form? You say it's the fourth form. That means it becomes anavastha. The very fact that it leads to anavastha shows this thinking is wrong. It is a dosha, it is an alarm bell. Whenever you hit a dosha, it is an alarm bell. My dear, you have gone wrong somewhere. It's like a dead end. Because right thinking doesn't lead to a dead end. Right thinking doesn't lead to anavastha, regress ad infinitum. Right thinking doesn't lead to contradictions. Right thinking doesn't lead to any crisis in thinking. Right thinking helps you, right thinking leads to the understanding of the truth. Right thinking leads to understanding, explaining away the entire universe. Therefore, thinking that the form, the source of the form is a form. No, the scene, the source of the scene is the very seer. And the seer is not an individual. There is no individual seer. Because there is a sense, there is a thought of individuality which is also seen. Therefore, the seer of the individuality is not an individual. The seer of individuality is not an individual. And therefore, Atmaiva idam jagat sarvam. All that is seen is the seer. Atmaiva idam sarvam, jagat sarvam. This whole universe is oneself. That oneself means don't take it as the individual, Mr. Individual. It is the seer. Because the sense of individuality also is a part of the universe. Jnatam yena, by whom it is known. Jnatam is known, yena by whom. By whom it is known. Mahatmana, by which Mahatma it is known. To know the seen to be not outside the seer makes him a Mahatma. Mahatma, no empirical deed makes a person a Mahatma. Even the people call him a Mahatma. If you are generous, you are a Mahatma. You are big-hearted, Mahatma. You are generous, you are Mahatma. You are a philanthropist, you are a Mahatma. And you are selfless in the sense you serve others, you are a Mahatma. That's not a big thing. These are all the activities which can be done independent of Shabda Pramana. बहुत बड़ी बात है जी. You can be charitable, you can be generous, you can do this, you can do that. Everything can be done independent of Shabda Pramana. You can be an empirical Mahatma independent of Shabda Pramana. But you cannot be a Mahatma in this sense. You cannot know the seen to be non-separate from the seer. You cannot know the Satyamithya Bhava between you and the universe. You cannot know the Satyamithya Bhava implying Advitiyatvam of the Satyam, the non-dual nature of the Satyam, independent of Shabda Pramana. What can be done independent of Shabda Pramana also is generally called Mahatma empirically, but that is a topical Mahatma. But the Mahatma, as per the Shabda Pramanam, is self-knowledge makes him a Mahatma. It is not even lifestyle makes him a Mahatma. A kapada doesn't make him, even though whoever wears the akar, he is called Mahatma. And all the Babas are also called Mahatmas. That's nothing, you see. This word Mahatma may be used. Even Jail Singh was called Gyani Jail Singh. He was not a Brahmajnani. He was a Granthi. He used to recite, Grantha, Guru Granth Sahib. All those people are called Gyanis, but then that's different. That's accepted. That's empirically. Atma evidam jagat sarvam jnatam yena mahatmana. By which Mahatma it is known that the jagat, the seen, is non-separate from the seer. Yadrichaya, with free, without any entertained restrictions. Specially entertained restrictions. Yadrichaya, freely. Vartamanam. And is freely living and surviving through Yadricha Labha Santushtena. Whatever comes through Prarabdham. Whatever comes through Prarabdham is also Yadricha. Yadricha means Vina Ichchaya, without Ichcha, without an entertained desire. Whatever comes by his Prarabdha. Because Prarabdha also takes care of your Sukham and Dukkham also. Even if you don't do anything in this world, you go and sit in Himalayas, your Prarabdha will bring you something. Maybe Dukkham, maybe because it was there in your Prarabdha to go through lot of Dukkham, you made this decision also. Who knows? Who knows, ji? A lot of decisions are... Strong decisions are also made by Prarabdha. Therefore, survival can take place through Prarabdham. A Mahatma is more occupied with seeing the Satyamithya Bhava between his existence and the Jagat. Yadrichaya Vartamanam. Tam nishedhum kshametakaha. Tam nished, to stop him so. To stop him from being free. To stop him from seeing that. To stop him from seeing the Satyamithya Bhava, truth and appearance relationship between his being and the universe. Nishedhum, to stop him. from his peace, to stop him, to deny him his peace, to deny him his freedom, to deny him his being, the serenity of his being. Kshameta kaha, who is capable? Who can stop him? If an ignorant person, when a man is ignorant, who can stop him from suffering? If a man is clear, who can stop him from being cheerful, being peaceful? Therefore, unhappiness is not by choice. Peace also is not by choice. Unhappiness is the result of avidya, because even choice is the result of avidya. When choice is the result of avidya, unhappiness is also the result of avidya. It is an error about the truth. It's not something that is done through by choice. It's not by choice. You don't choose unhappiness. You don't choose also peace. Peace is the nature of the self. You can understand it. Non-understanding leads to unhappiness. Understanding is that gives shanti. Therefore, neither happiness is by choice nor unhappiness is by choice. If this is understood, choice plays no role in samsara. If a man is ignorant, who can stop him from being unhappy? Who can stop him? If you touch fire, who can stop you from being burnt? And the same logic throughout life, even the laws of karma. If you do good deed, who can stop you from having comfort? Who can stop sukha coming to you? If you do bad, who can stop you? Who can stop the dukkham coming to you? A given comfort and a given discomfort are not by choice. They are the results of the karma. They are karma phalam. They are the results of karma. Kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam are the results of avidya. The vulnerability to dukkham is the result of avidya. And peace is the nature of the self. Everything is the result of either the karma or the result of avidya. Only two results. Either there is karma phalam or avidya phalam. That I am a jiva is not by choice. That I am a jiva is avidya phalam. And therefore, nobody can interfere with my happiness, nobody can interfere with my unhappiness. If this is understood, that means I don't have to fear others. I don't have to worry about others. I can just go about knowing the truth. I can just go about doing the good deeds. I can go about doing good deeds. I can go about knowing the truth. I don't have to fear others because they can't interfere with my happiness. They can't interfere with my unhappiness also, because I am the reason. If I do good deeds, I get my sukham. If I do bad deeds, I get my dukkham. If I remain ignorant, I get my dukkham. If I go about knowing myself, I get my peace. Therefore, my unhappiness is not in others' hands. My happiness also is not in others' hands. Not in my hands. In my hands means it's not by my choice, but it is in my hands in the sense I can choose to, I can decide to do good deeds, I can decide to know. This is overture. And therefore, the one who sees the entire scene as non-separate from the seer, who can stop him from being peaceful? Who can stop him from being struggle-free and depend upon only prarabdham for survival? And who can encourage him to work hard to make more and more money? Who can encourage him? Nobody can encourage. Nobody can put pressure on him to do what they do. Why are you sitting quiet? Why don't you go here and there and then work hard and make money? Why don't you start an industry and make money? He will go by his reflections. He doesn't go by others' reflections. Because he knows in this world, except the Shastra's reflections, nobody's reflections are valid. A jiva's reflections are absolutely not valid. Therefore, there is no jiva in this world whose reflections are valid. Therefore, a right-thinking person doesn't go by other jivas' advices. He doesn't go. He doesn't even listen. They may be talking and he is thinking of something else. He doesn't even listen to others' advices. That doesn't mean he is a jiddi, aisa nahi. He is receptive to what the Shastra says. Because Shastra sees correctly what is to be done in life. Therefore, he is receptive to Vedanta Shastram. He is not receptive to others' advices. He says, why are you wasting time with Vedanta? Why don't you get a job? And he doesn't all that. He doesn't listen to all those things. Who can stop him from being peaceful? Number one. Who can persuade him to do something else? Because he understands the universal. Even Devata's thinking is wrong, I am telling you. Even the thinking done by the Devatas is not valid, because they also go by Pratyaksha and Anumana. What the jivas think is not valid, because they also depend only on Pratyaksha and Anumana. Animals, what they think also is not valid, because they also go by what is Pratyaksha and rudimentary Anumana. Whereas Shabda Pramana doesn't go by Pratyaksha and Anumana. It goes by the Aparoksha Anubhava. And therefore, a right-thinking person is always receptive to the Shastram. He is not receptive to others' advices. That means Swamiji is very jiddi. No, he's not jiddi. If you tell the eyes, why don't you hear also? He says no. Are they being jiddi? The eyes are not jiddis. Their nature. The eyes are not made to hear. Similarly, as per my understanding, I am not meant for these empirical deeds. Not only that, nobody is in need of anything empirical. Yes, you are in need of something empirical for survival, nothing beyond. If you only think of the wealth that is necessary for survival, there is enough wealth for everybody, very easily available. But I survived to know. Therefore, a Vedanti is not, he doesn't listen to others. He listens to his reasoning, he listens to the Shastra. Next verse ji. Abrahmastamba paryante bhutagrame chaturvidhe Vijñasyaiva hit samarthyam Ichcha nichcha vivarjane. Abrahma stamba paryante. Right from the creator. That creatorship is also looked upon as jiva. Amazing. That creatorship is considered to be the highest jiva. In Tatparyam there is no jivatvam. But I look upon Ishvara as the creator, Brahmaji is the creator, Vishnu is the sustainer, ER. If you look at the three as the ER, creator, sustainer, resolver, and if a man thinks of them as three individuals, the highest individuals, looking upon them like this, that's not the Shastra's view, but that is how man thinks. The creator also is a huge entity. We give a dimension to Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. The moment you give a dimension to them, they become jivas. And that is called right from Brahmaji, stamba, to a plant. Abrahma pipilikanta we say, or Abrahma stamba paryanta. Abrahma stamba paryante, or Abrahma pipilikanta. Pipilika means a chiti, an ant. From the highest to the lowest we. You see, these are all also, one doesn't have to rake up these thoughts. Unnecessary. You just say, whatever is in the creation, whatever is, every individual that is, every species of living beings in this creation, every species, the whole realm of species is conveyed by the phrase Abrahma stamba paryante. Abrahma stamba paryante bhutagrame, in the realm of the individuals. Bhuta means individuals. Grama means a group. In this bhutagrame, Chaturvide, and these jivas are Chaturvidas. Chaturvidas means, mammals, and then egg-born, and sweat-born, Jarayujas, Andajas, and Udbhidyas means the plants. That need not become a big topic. They are all living beings. The reptiles are egg-born, but they are also living beings. There is no difference between a mammal and an egg-born, or a sweat-born, or the plant kingdom. It is just living beings. Chaturvide. That means in this whole creation, Vijnasya eva, only a person who knows the self, Samarthyam, he has the competence, Ichcha nichcha vivarjane, to be free from both like and dislike. Ichcha and aniccha. He transcends both desire and desirelessness. He is free from both desire and absence of desire. It's a very beautiful point, because we get stuck with the other opposite. Desire. I want to be free from desire. That is also thinking, you see. Renouncing a desire also is thinking. Entertaining a desire is thinking. Entertaining renunciation of desire is also thinking. It is in the realm of thinking. Desire and freedom from desire. Whereas the truth is neither desire nor absence of desire. It is presence of itself. This is the clue. The nature of the truth, it is neither presence of jivatvam nor absence of jivatvam. It is presence of fullness. Water is not presence of the wave that form, nor is it just, you can't define water to be mere absence of the form. It is presence of itself. Similarly, in the deep sleep state, it is your presence, not the presence of the body and the absence of the body. It is not a presence of thought or absence of thought. It is not the presence of the error or the absence of the error. It is the presence of the fact. We don't say it is a state of absence of error, nor is it a state of presence of an error. It is a state of the presence of the truth. And therefore the presence of the self transcends the presence of desire as well as absence of desire. Therefore only a Vijna, only a person who is a Shastrajna, who understands that truth transcends all pairs of opposites. Man generally renounces one opposite and gets stuck to another opposite. And in fact, renouncing one opposite and getting stuck to another opposite has been mostly the spirituality in this world. If like is unspirituality, then you get stuck to dislike. Or if dislike is unspirituality, then you get stuck to like everybody. Love everybody becomes spirituality. Don't hate anybody. That is another opposite. Kindness and cruelty. Renounce cruelty and be kind. That is getting stuck to another opposite. Therefore, we have always been renouncing one opposite of the pair and getting stuck to another opposite of the pair. I hope you are able to follow. In the name of Vairagyam, I renounce the likes for the objects. I get stuck to dislike for the objects. I don't like it. When you renounce one opposite, you are stuck with another opposite. You cannot know, independent of Shabda Pramanam, how to be free from both. Freedom from both is the nature of the truth. Freedom from both is the nature of the truth. And that truth happens to be oneself. And therefore, you can't renounce one opposite and say this is spirituality. Therefore, here Ashtavakraji says very beautifully that only a Vijna has the competence, meaning can transcend both Ichcha and Aniccha. Ichcha is desire, and renouncing desire is another opposite. Desirelessness is also in the realm of thinking. Presence of the wave, absence of the wave. Presence of the thought, absence of the thought. But in the deep sleep state, there is no presence of the thought, nor there is absence of thought. It is presence of your existence, presence of yourself. Like in death, there is no presence of life, nor there is absence of life. It is not a thought of absence. Because in order to think of the absence of life, you have to think of the prior presence of. It is in the realm of thinking. The presence of life is the realm of thinking. The absence of life also is in the realm of thinking. But in death, really, it is the presence of the truth. And the same truth really takes another form. Therefore, this becomes very clear. Who wakes up, who assumes the body? It is the presence of the truth that assumes the body. Who wakes up? It is the same truth resumes the body. It is Paramatma that becomes Jivatma. It is the Paramatma that looks Jivatma. It is the Paramatma that looks Jivatma. And it is substantiated by the Shruti which says, Tasrishtva tadevanu pravishat. Having created the body, Parameshwara himself entered in the form of Jiva. Anena jivena atmana anupravishya nama rupe vyakaravani says. May I enter the body in the form of the Jiva, Atmana, without losing my nature, as a part of creation. Bapre. May I enter the eyes as the seer of the creation. May I enter the ears as the hearer of the creation. May I enter the realm of thinking. May I enter the body with a sense of limitation without losing my unlimitedness. Atmana anupravishya means स्वरूप को ना छोड़ के प्रवेश कर. मैं अपने स्वरूप को ना त्याग कर, आत्मना अपने स्वरूप को ना त्याग कर शरीर में प्रवेश करूं जीव रूप से. Paramatma thinks. That is just a part of Prakriya teaching, just to show that it is the Paramatma that looks like Jivatma and Swarupa remains Paramatma. That is the Tatparyam. Prakriya is what is Uktam. Tatparyam is what is Vivakshitam. In Vivakshitam there are no differences. In Uktam there can be differences, not contradictions. I have given all these. And therefore, to renounce one of the Dvandvas is easy, but to be free from Dvandvas, you cannot renounce both the Dvandvas. Only truth is free from the Dvandvas. And by knowing the truth, you are free from Dvandvas. You can't renounce both the Dvandvas. One of the Dvandvas you can renounce. You can renounce like or you can renounce dislike. You can renounce enmity or you can renounce friendship. But to renouncing both means you can't renounce both, you can disprove both. That realm of the pairs of opposites need to be disproved. Renunciation is different. I make a will, I make a decision. Let me not have it. Okay, ji, the next verse. Therefore, spirituality means disproving all the pairs of opposites. Kindness and cruelty, like and dislike, goodness and badness, presence of limitation and the thought of absence of limitation, meaning the memory of limitation. These pairs of opposites cannot be renounced. One of them can be renounced temporarily. You can distance yourself from one of the pairs, one of the two opposites. But you can't distance yourself from both the opposites. They have to be, it is a realm of opposites. Thought is a realm of opposites, can be disproved. Atmanamadvayam kaschit janati jagadishwaram yadveti tatsakurutena bhayam tasya kutrachit yadveti tatsakurute nabhayam tasya kutrachit. Atmanam, Atma ko, अद्वयम अद्वय को कश्चित जानाति, कोई कोई जानता है. Because advayam means free from all the pairs of opposites. The presence of one's existence is advaitam. One does not really think of one's presence. One always thinks in terms of the presence of a detail of the creation or the absence. This is exactly the meaning of paranchikani vyatrunatsvayam. Man is destroyed, as it were, by God. God as though has destroyed this man by making him think only in terms of the presence of the objects or the absence of the objects. But in thinking of the presence of the objects, he has his own presence. In thinking of the absence of the objects, he has got his own presence. But he doesn't think of that presence. And even to think of his presence is, he thinks of his presence in some terms of physiological presence, anatomical presence, presence of him, all his features. He thinks of the presence of his features. And his features also have presence and absence. He thinks of the change of his features. He thinks of the presence of his features. He thinks of the absence of his features, but he doesn't think of his presence, because he doesn't think that he has a presence independent of his features. Therefore, Shabda Pramanam comes and tells him, sir, your presence is independent of your features. Your presence is independent of your features. Your features have no future, whereas you are eternal. And therefore, Atmanam Advayam Kaschid Janati. Advaya Atma ko koi koi janta hai. But in the name of spirituality, we get stuck to one of the opposites. One of the extremes. There are two extremes, either like or dislike. Just as they say, either white or black. I tell you, even if there is some grey in between, they bracket it with either this or that. The grey doesn't transcend the like and dislike. Chinaiji, without Shabda Pramana, you cannot initiate reflection about yourself. Shabda Pramana is not an ordinary thing. That also, a person must have common sense to be receptive to what Shastra says, to appreciate what the Shastra says. Say, sir, you are talking about your waking state, dream state, sleep state. Is deep sleep state a belief? Person listens, yes. Deep sleep state, everybody says. Even a person who doesn't know logic says, yes, it is our experience. If deep sleep state is my experience, that means negation of thought is my knowledge, my experience. Negation of thought is not another thought. Negation of thought, freedom from thought, is nothing but the presence of oneself. To see the absence of something means to be oneself. To be oneself is other. To be is free from the presence of thought as well as absence of the thought of the absence of thought. That is also the same thing. Because the absence of thought is not another thought. Therefore, when the Shabda Pramana comes and says that, sir, if freedom from thought is your experience, that means thought can have negation, you have no negation. And if a person is receptive to that statement, he becomes reflective. And when the Shruti says, sir, your life is not really confined to only waking state. Your life is, all your experiences is life. Any experience is life. Life does not mean breathing. Experiencing is called life. Waking, I experience waking. I experience dream. I experience a thought. I experience even freedom from waking and dream and thought. Because experience is different from believing something that is not evident. If I believe in heaven, that is belief. But if I say that I am there, it is not a belief, it is evident. Experiences are not beliefs. Experience is evident. Waking is not a belief, it is experience. That I had a dream is an experience. And that there was no waking state, no dream state, there was no thought, that is also experience. When you listen to these statements, and if you are a very little above average even intelligence, if you have and common sense, you cannot just take them like that. You are struck with wonder. I said, what is this? That means existence has no negation. In this manner, man thinks. It is the Shabda Pramanam that corners the Jiva. It is the Shabda Pramanam that corners you. Pratyaksha Pramana cannot corner me, it is a distortion. Anuvana Pramana is a distortion about my being. All perceptions are distortions about myself. Therefore, they can't arrest my attention. They only give an illusion. They are themselves an illusion. An illusion can make me suffer, but cannot make me think. Illusions cannot make me think. Therefore, it is the Shabda Pramana that makes me think. Therefore, it is okay to say, there is nothing wrong. Atmanam advayam kaschid janat. Koi janta hai. Meaning rare. One doesn't have to think like this. Swamiji, that means, do you think that we are those rare people? They say, don't think all those things. Say, it is understanding the truth is choiceless. I have to keep studying. Even if I am absolutely dull, still I have no choice. I have to. The more I become familiar with the topic, the more I will be able to understand. Familiarize yourself with the topic becomes easier. And when you are strange to the topic, it becomes difficult. Strangeness of the topic also makes it difficult. And therefore, it's okay to say, without my getting affected, I can receive this statement that yes, it is rare. Because very rarely does a person continue to study until he knows. He may study for a little while and leave. That is why we say, Vedanta has the biggest number of dropouts. Yes, the biggest number of dropouts. Why? You can't pursue. It is not a time bound, it is not a definite amount of information. A sizable information it is. It's not that. Even when I hear Tattvamasi, I have to, until I understand, it remains a right belief. Entire Vedanta remains a right belief. The right belief has to become right understanding. Therefore, Vedanta Vichara has to continue until it is understood. and one does not continue, he drops out of Vedanta Vichara. And one may go on studying, and it may take a long time, but then after that he gets tired, because he is missing pleasures. Supposing he is missing, after all, he is Jiva, he is in between, it's like a man who is at the doorstep, you see. He is neither inside nor outside. But he has a temptation to go outside. Anytime he can go outside, he can also go inside. It's like a fence sitter. Every Vedanti is like a fence sitter. The cat can jump on either side. This side or that side. It's a fence sitter. And therefore, he is having the attractions for the world and he is also having value for Vedanta. He is caught between. That's okay, ji. But that is true anyway. There is not a theory, everybody's experience. It is everybody's experience, everybody experiences this fact. Therefore, don't mystify, see it a very, very verifiable thing. Everything that is said is very verified. Kaschit janati. Jagadishwaram. Very rarely does a person understands the Lord of the universe, the Self. The Lord means the source of the universe, the Self. Very rare. Yad veti, the one who knows, tatsa kurute. This is something should be translated like this. The one who knows alone knows. The one who knows is capable of doing it. That's all not unnecessary. That's all unnecessary. जो जानता है वही जानता है. यद वेत्ति स कुरुते. The one who understands, he only knows. Na bhayam tasya kutrachit. And he is free from the fear. Because if blackout is understood as the truth's presence, yes, blackout means blackout of all I am familiar with. That is okay. The absence of perceptions is followed by the presence of the perceptions. The perception of the presence of the perceptions is followed by the absence of the perceptions. And that is something swabhavikam. Neither the presence of the perceptions nor the absence of the perceptions is a part of the truth. It is an attribute of the truth. Now I wake up, now I sleep, it is swabhavikam. Now I am alive, now I leave the form. That is swabhavikam. I can't really go against this swabhavikam. I may control anger, but I can't root out anger. I can't be free from the vulnerability of anger without Brahmajnana, Brahmavidya. Without knowing the truth, I can't liberate myself from the vulnerability of the Swabhavikam. Swabhavikam is always there. Therefore, blackout has to happen. That's not the problem. Blackout is not the problem. But blackout means the blackout of my existence is the problem. Blackout of the world is not a problem. Blackout of my existence frightens. That means it is contrary to my nature. To think that my existence is blacked out is contrary to my nature. So this conclusion that I lose my existence is contrary to my nature, and that frightens me. Repercussions are there only when I have conclusions contrary to my nature. Manifestation of thoughts is not contrary to the nature. unmanifestation of the thoughts is not contrary to the nature. If I think that thought itself is my quality, absence of thought is my quality, presence of thought is my quality, that is contrary to my nature. Because our nature cannot be defined as presence of thought or absence of thought. It is presence of itself. Like silence cannot be defined as absence. In fact, nothing can be defined as absence of something. But what about Ajnanam, Swamiji? We always say absence of knowledge is called ignorance. We don't say that. I don't say that. I say that. Truth ununderstood. It is the presence of the truth ununderstood. It is called ignorance. There is no ignorance of the truth. There is truth ununderstood. Don't say there is ignorance of the truth. Nor there is an understanding of the truth. This language creates problems. There is no ignorance about the rope. This is the culture. This is the Jiva's language. But on analysis, there is no ignorance about the rope. There is a rope ununderstood. There is the truth ununderstood. And there is truth understood. That is why the mantra always says, Tatveva Vidushaha. What is that? Tatveva bhayam vidusho manvanasya. Tatveva bhayam. Truth ununderstood triggers fear. Ignorance doesn't. Don't give a personality to ignorance. Don't give a tangibility to ignorance. Therefore, we don't say that absence of knowledge is ignorance. We say the presence of the truth ununderstood. Why do I have to define ignorance? Ignorance is not another fact. There is truth ununderstood. What is Jiva? Truth ununderstood and misunderstood. But if you go on saying, Jiva is the manifestation in the realm of ignorance, etc., it is all a mess. He is the truth, ununderstood and misunderstood. And Brahma Jnani means what is he? He is the truth, ununderstood and rightly understood. Brahma Jnani is understood. And Ajnani is what? Truth, ununderstood and misunderstood. What is Jnani? Truth, understood. So in either case, what is referred to? The presence of the truth. The presence of the truth. Even the ununderstoodness is from the misunderstoodness, not a part of Anubhava. Anyway, very rare is a person who understands the self, number one. जो समझता है वही समझता है, and he is free from the fear. If he is a Brahmajnani, even if he is put in a jail, he will आराम से रहेंगे उधर. Because four walls don't make a prison. Four walls don't make a prison. But anyway, Brahmajnani, why should you? Unless he has committed a crime. Supposing the judge says, you are not supposed to know the truth. Now that you have known the truth, we punish you for that. We will put you behind bars. Supposing that is the thinking, then all right, he will remain. A person who understands the nature of the being He can just remain anywhere. He has no fear. ओके जी, न भयम तस्य कुत्रचित, कहीं भी उनको कोई डर नहीं है. द फियर ऑफ ब्लैकआउट, द फियर ऑफ डेथ, etc., etc. And if there is something due to prarabdha, you will go through it. You will go through it. Keeping the knowledge that even that problem is a part of creation. Okay, ji? Then we are going to see Panchva Prakaran. Fifth Prakaran, Drishyaman Jagat ki Asatyata is the topic. The universe is asat. Asatya means it is not asat, it is mithya. The word asat does not mean it is not there. This is also Jiva's culture to think like that. It doesn't mean. What is not there is called tucham. Tucham means haini. Avidyamanam is different from asat. Asat is a paribhashika shabda. Sat and asat is a paribhashika shabda. Sat is what is. Asat is what looks to be without being. It is an error about the sat. Asat is an error about the sat. It is not parallel to सत. ये दो कहाँ से आ गया, एक तो सत है एक तो असत है. ये दो थोड़ी. असत is not parallel to sat. Asat is an error about sat. Asat is bhranti about sat. Drishyam is not parallel to drashta. Drishyam is asat. Drashta is sat. The subject, the aparoksham is sat, the pratyaksham is asat. The aparoksham is sat, the pratyaksham and the paroksham are asat. Whereas I think this is the sat, I come and go. I am asat, this is sat. This has continuity, I come and go. Therefore I give greater reality to the drishyam. हम लोग इस दुनिया में आएंगे जाएंगे, लेकिन दुनिया तो चलता रहेगा. It's just contrary to that. Whereas dunya has comes and goes means now it is manifest, now it is unmanifest. But the aparoksham is eternal. So thus this has to be properly studied, properly thought of. What? The nature of the universe also. The nature of the universe gets studied when you study the nature of the subject. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.